Another job in the workshop, another challenge. This time is a Jaguar I-PACE, a full electric, but it looks like we're not gonna have to deal with the high voltage system, but something else. So we have quite a few warning lights on the dash, stability control not available, autonomous emergency braking. So nothing on a high voltage system. What is all about? Follow me in the workshop. Let's try to scan it and see what's the plan of attack to get this Jaguar back on the road with no warning lights on the dash. Let's go.
Welcome to OGS Mechanics. I'm George, and here we fix cars, electric cars, hybrid, combustion engine cars. Follow me for interesting repairs translated in videos. We will start running a scan, but before that, let's see exactly what is going on with the car, because driving is fine. So although we have quite a lot of errors on the dash, driving so far it seems fine, but doesn't mean it has to be left like that, because it could only get worse. Something is not right. Now, when we do a complete scan on a car, we see a number of errors, and the concern are some related with the electric motor. Let's get into that, and then we'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have communication, invalid serial data received, but our error to concern is in the electric motor. And it is related with the drive motor position sensor. Now, this error code is not clearing, it stays there permanent. What is the position sensor? We have here one of the old sensor with the housing that we took off another Jaguar. So this section comes fitted on the back of the electric motor. So here is the electric motor, and this is the position sensor that reads the position. Now, we have an error saying there is an issue with this particular sensor. It could be the wiring, it could be the sensor itself, maybe water ingress, or it could be outside. The problem is accessing this is very difficult in situ, and let me show you why. Here is the assembly. Electric motor is down there, and the sensor is right at the back, so it's very difficult to see, never mind to get to the wiring or to the sensor. Sensor is on the side, but it's impossible. So for that reason, after we've done some checks on the outside as far as we could get into, we concluded that the only way is to drop the assembly and do physical checks on it to identify the problem. It's very tight, although it's a comprehensive job. Unfortunately, there's no other way to get access and check everything. So car is gonna go up on a ramp, and the full engine electric motor assembly is gonna come down, and then we'll resume the checks from there. With the assembly off, we have stripped quite a lot of the components that we already have them here, the distribution box, charger unit, DC-DC converter. However, we still not get to the stage that we can see the wiring for that position sensor. Come, let me show you, because it's so hidden. even after this dismantling, it's the wiring here that we want to check that travels underneath this bracket housing. And it could either be the case that a wire is broken on this section of loom, or it could be um, inside the transmission box where the sensor is located. So still more stripping to see exactly. Can we get this? Are we ready to get it off? All this assembly is going to be a bit of a fiddly job to lift it up. Yeah, it's out from here. A bit more. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Out. Okay. Yeah, I grabbed it. Which way are we gonna go? Close the door. This is a heavy thing. Big and heavy. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a big and heavy thing. Now with it out, we should have better access to our wiring. So is this section of wiring that really cannot be seen without stripping all this. It might be anywhere in. Can we take it off? We probably try to take the insulation off. See if we can see anything. No. The connector. Just a tiny bit of wiring that we want. Hoppa. Oh, look at that.
No, yeah.
So, so just a tiny bit of wiring. Have a look. It's just a broken wire. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All this for a broken wire. And look how hidden it was. So it means we don't even need to take the isolation off. But look, the access of it, how it's sitting like that. It's nearly impossible. You can barely see it. Never mind get to this wiring. It's very interesting how this broke. Vibrational. But it's good that we have found the problem.
Yeah.
It's just a simple broken wire. How much does it cost to fix a broken wire? Looking amount of dismantling, that's but there's no other way because there's literally no access, and we could easily repair this. But my problem is whether this wiring it might have suffered and other wire might broke so in the future. So because of the access, I wouldn't take any chances, and we will replace this section of loom. Not even sure whether this is a common problem on the Jaguar. And it's very strange because I wouldn't expect this to vibrate or anything. How did it broke? One of those mystery things that are happening. But the good thing is that we have found the problem. So at this stage, don't think there's any point in getting to the sensor itself. We'll have to get this section of wiring and then yeah, install everything back. So we made good progress. We find the cause of our Christmas tree on the dash. We have to replace it, and then gonna put everything back together. Hopefully they'll get rid of all those lights. We need to do some shopping now. We have called Jaguar dealer. Apparently this wiring loom is on back order, and with the way that Jaguar is stripped, we cannot really afford weeks waiting for it. Therefore, the solution is to repair. And what we are also going to look to see why this has vibrated, whether this connector it had movement in situ. So once we're going to repair the loom, and then we'll find out how we secure it so we make sure there's no vibration in there, so we don't have same issue once again. So let's get to have it repaired. We've got now the wiring repair, and then we insulate it so it no longer vibrates, so we don't expect we're going to have any more issues in the future. So all this, it has quite a hard insulation of it, so it was just a plug, and what I think it was happening, this was vibrating. You can't really think so because this is also goes onto the bracket, but there is vibration which has caused this wiring to break. So now we are ready to install, and obviously then all the components back on the car, because this tiny repair now has been completed. So how are we gonna have it? This. That's how it goes. So simple, yet a big drama out of it. So we need to get on with all the components now. Once we fixed our issue, let's get on. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so is it in position? Yeah. Okay. So it's in place. A lot of things to connect now. Yeah, but main assembly is back on top of the motor. We have to connect our wiring. So this is a bracket that holds it in place, and in here there's another wiring that goes on it. We'll look at it once everything is in place to see exactly. Yeah. The Jaguar, it's all back together. We have changed the location from the ramp. We've done the air conditioning regas. We had it a bit on charge while we do the bleeding process. So we should be ready to get in a road test. We only had it for a bit on charge. We've got so far about 17% charge, but it will be good enough just to have a drive test. We obviously want to check we have no error codes and everything works fine. afterwards probably we have to get it on full charge. The problem is with this type of charging that we're using is going to take, normal charger is going to take about 50 hours plus to have a full battery. So we need a bit of a faster charger, but we have enough battery left for a road test. Let's get on. Ignition on. We should see no warning messages, and it should stay like that. All good. We also have scanned the car, and all looks green. That's the way it should be. So no error at all. Let's head on a drive test. So driving, it is good. I can see it hits limiter, probably because we have a low battery. I haven't experienced that in another Jaguar. I'll be quite curious if that's the case. We'll find out, but it would be good if you know, just to drop me a comment. So I can see the limiter is off, and as soon as we reach about 25 miles per hour, I can see it kicks in. So will be that to save the 25, yeah. Will it be that to save, because we have no error code, so we are going to find that. Other than that, it drives okay. And it's another interesting fact that I'm noticing on the Jaguars, because I'm driving quite a bit now. When I'm braking, nearly when I come to a full stop, there's a vibration in the pedal, like the ABS wants to kick in. But again, it's the no error codes, and this is I think probably the third Jaguar that I'm noticing that. And the other owners, they said it was like that for a long time, since they remember. I'll be quite curious. Quite curious if anyone else experienced that. If you did, drop me a comment if you have this ever fixed, or because there are no error codes. And on a harsh braking, I've done it before, the ABS works fine anyway. But back to our ratio, the car is fault free and no error on the dash. Everything seems to be okay. We'll need to charge it to be able to do a more extensive road test. We'll see if we're gonna go to a faster charger, because it takes quite a bit to charge it on the socket charger. But yeah, the Jaguar seems to be all good. We just need a bit more driving, but before that we need more juice in the battery. So after the road test, where the Jaguar drives fine with no error codes, however is limited on speeds, we try to put it on charge. It does charge, however only for a few minutes, and then it stops charging and it triggering some errors. So it's very strange, because driving, it doesn't trigger any errors. However, it is limited to 26 miles per hour. So no matter what you do, it won't go past that. We tried to, on the socket charge, it wouldn't charge. We wanted to a quick charge. We went to a quick charge station. We tried to charge it there, and again, it wouldn't charge, and eventually even drained the battery. So it charged for a few minutes and then it stopped. So very interesting, because we don't have clear error codes. We have the DC-DC disconnected. So basically the the 12-volt converter. It gets disconnected in the process of charging. So what are we going to do now? We're going to update all the components on the high voltage system, because sometimes it could be a glitch in the software that is preventing the system from operating correctly. And this is how it looks now. When we scan the car, all looks healthy. So looking in green, it means no error codes. So the only resolution now is to start updating. So we are going to concentrate on the components from the high voltage system. So the battery, high voltage battery control module, charger, the DC-DC converter, all the components, like I said, they are running, that are controlling the high voltage system. And afterwards, we're gonna retest the car to see whether this has fixed. So we'll start with battery energy control module, and then one by one we're gonna run them all. We've now completed the programming procedure, the update for the battery energy control module, the charger, and we are ready to go in a drive test. Let's see if this was the fix for the power limitation. So since we are ready here, we can disconnect everything. We can also disconnect the charger. So was this the fix for the power limitation and the charger? I'm so eager to find out. Let's get on. Quite interesting the way that it was behaving, and the fact that it was not triggering any error codes. So the car was picking up speed fine. You couldn't get more than 20. I think the highest speed that I managed to reach was 27 miles per hour. Very interesting, and even that without any error codes. Whew. 15, 20, still the same. Still the same. So 27, limited to 27 miles per hour. This is very strange. This is very strange. What he could trigger this without any error code? So up to that. And also another interesting thing, I can see the limit button flash comes on when the limitation kicks in. Very strange. So the pickup is very good, up to 25, 27 is the maximum, and the limiter comes on. To be honest, I still believe it's gonna be a software related issue rather than a hardware. We're missing something, because the beginning it's exactly what it should be, but then it stops and flat out 27 miles per hour. Definitely not something that came across before, but it's always a day for something new, isn't it? Obviously from here back into the workshop, plug in the diagnostic and try to read more data, try to understand. So we had a bit of a problem with charging the high voltage battery, and the fact that vehicle was limited. We managed to overcome the charging, a bit strange. We suspect the battery was a bit low, so we put it on charge. We had to have support for the 12-volt system until we managed to get it over 20%, and it looks like now the high voltage system operates okay. It's charging. We managed to bring it to probably around 60%. However, the speed limit of 25 is still there. We have access to a lot of technical information, and then we try, we make calls, we open technical tickets. No one has ever seen that, and it was a bit, you know, so strange. How, why, no error codes, why this Jaguar, it's limited to 25 miles per hour, and no one has ever heard about such a situation. And eventually we managed to get to the bottom of that. Let's get in a drive test and I'll show you what. So that's the way the scan looks like. Everything is green, absolutely no errors in any control units, and the situation is exactly as it was before. So we have ready, so no errors on the dash, and let's get on a drive, see exactly what is happening. So the limiter light on the steering wheel is off. As soon as we reach about 20, it comes on. Vehicle is limited 26, eventually probably 27. We won't be able to go past that. We obviously try a number of things. I don't know exactly how this has been activated, and we've tried things like exiting transport mode, because it could be something like that. The strange thing is I have not seen this option on the dealer tool, but it looks like it is a software thing. And when we logged in, when we connect it with this brilliant, I really love Autel. They have quite good tools. So on the special function, we have a function here, factory speed disable. You need to follow up the instruction. Ignition on. Off and on. Successful. And let's see what's happening now with the Jaguar. There you go. Speed limit has gone. So 37, no limits aligned. And we are struggling with this for a good couple of days, trying to find information, because it's so strange the way, and we can't really understand how this has been activated. We have done indeed updates on several control units. It's very, very strange. The dealer tool, I had absolutely no option to enable or disable the speed limiter. It's very strange how this has been activated. Now we're happy we managed to find it and have it removed. Otherwise the car really drives nice. The dashboard is nice and clean, no error codes, and yeah, we also managed to charge the high voltage battery. We've done now the checks, stats of the battery, looks good. We are kind of ready to hand it over to the customer. So it was an interesting job again, like a roller coaster. You fix something, something else comes up. But now we are get used to those situations because they're happening so often. It's not always a case that everything goes smooth. It has to be always something else. But this Jaguar now is driving as it should. So we're probably ready to wrap up the video with repair on the Jaguar, as we already have quite an extensive road test and we are happy the way it runs. All the fluids, they've been checked. The cooling system has been bled. We have regassed the AC, so everything is kind of all in place. Yeah, we just have to install the front boot, and then we are ready to go to give it to the customer that is quite eager to have it back. He's been without it for a while, and then also with the lights on, has been driving the car, so he's going to be very happy to see it without any warning lights. We have the Jaguar on charge now. It's going to take quite a few hours to have a fully charged battery. We have concluded our checks, and let's have a recap. What was wrong with this Jaguar and what exactly we've done. When we took delivery of the car, it came from a different workshop, and the complaint was a battery drain. Now, we have checked it, we've seen a lot of error codes, and we said, let's do a software update, as we noticed some of the control units were out of date. We managed to clear a lot of them and did a drain test. We did not experience a drain test, so we couldn't really understand what they were talking about, because at some point they complained they were not able to even open the bonnet, not even with the emergency mode. However, after checking more, we then start the conversation with the customer itself, and then it was a bit of a different story anyway. What it was permanent when we start checking the car, there were some error lights permanent, which the customer obviously also acknowledged that, and we have focused on that. Doing more checks, it was concluded there was a problem with front electric motor. Obviously limited in space in what can be done in situ, the only resort was to drop all assembly and check the motor. We obviously got authority to do that, and we start the work. Once we had the motor off, we had to strip obviously all the components to really reach the motor, and then doing the checks, we noticed it was just a wire, just a broken wire that obviously was causing a lot of problems, and also very hard to be accessed. So in terms of parts, if we think about it, we barely use anything apart of the coolant and oil what we have used. We didn't really have the parts, because the wiring loom that was supposed to be replaced was not even available. It was on back order, and we couldn't wait weeks to get that. So what we've done a repair on that loom, that it should be solid and it should last for a long time. Having done that, we put everything back. We had a bit of a struggle with charging, which we addressed to the fact that probably the battery was too low, but then we managed to charge the car and it's charging fine now. And then we also had another hurdle to overcome. The car was limited on 25 miles per hour, and we couldn't understand why and how to delimit it. But then we found the function, applied it, and the Jaguar is running as it should. What was the cost to fix the car? We've started with the initial investigation, try to understand what we have been told, that the battery is draining, and doing so, what we have charged, it was £180. And within this charge, we basically have run a diagnostics, run a battery drain test. Obviously, we haven't concluded anything, but we've noticed there are lots of control units that they needed updates. And therefore, we asked authority to carry out a complete software update. And that was the cost of £300 plus the VAT. Having done that, we managed to clear some of the errors. As I said, we proceed and focus really on error codes that were in a dashboard, and they were related with the high voltage motor. And there it started the story, taking the engine off. Obviously, initial checks, taking the engine, find the problem, fix the wiring, put everything back together. And this was quite a mission to do that. So all this in total, removing, repairing, installing, all the testing, what we have charged, it was 1,800 plus the VAT. That's including removing and installing. We can, as always, attribute additional cost for oil, antifreeze, and probably some extras here. I would say probably around £1,000, around £100. So if we are think about it, the total cost is going to be 2280 plus the VAT. 2380 plus the VAT, let's say 2380 plus VAT. It was, if we think about it, and the fact that we didn't have any parts, it's quite interesting, and it was just to fix a broken wire. But that's the way it goes sometimes. It can be a nut, but the way where the nut is, or like a good example, if it's a part in a gearbox and just a tiny oil seal, it could cost a few pounds. If the whole gearbox needs to be stripped, obviously, it doesn't mean the labor is going to be the cost of the part. Anyway, the Jaguar is now ready to go to its owner. We're wrapping up the job. If you like it, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment. And if you like our work, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification button for more interesting repairs translated in videos. I will see you next time.